we're going to look at dividing fractions. So we looked at multiplying last week, and we're actually going to start the lesson by multiplying again, because if you can multiply and you remember one extra thing, you can divide. Okay? So let's start with some multiplication. So we'll have 2/5 times 3/8. And we'll have 3/7 multiplied by 2/3. And then we'll have a mixed numeral, 4.5 times 3⅓. Okay, now, remember there are two different ways to do it, and you need to decide which is the way that you want, that you find it easier. The straightforward way is what? What do we do with the numerators and the denominators, Milo? Well done. We times the numerators, so 2 times 3 is 6. And then we times the denominators. 4 times 8 is 40. Now though, because we didn't simplify before we did the multiplication, it means we've got to simplify now. So who can simplify 4/60 for me? Well done, 3/20. Okay, so let's have a look at this one. Now this one, we can either cross cancel and get rid of those 3's and make them into 1's, or we can multiply the top, multiply the bottom, and then simplify. So just give me a show of hands. Who likes to multiply the top, multiply the bottom, and then simplify? Who likes to cross cancel? Okay, so the other way is more popular, so we'll do that. So 3 times 2 is 6. 7 times 3 is 21. We can simplify that, can't we?
I was doing the cross multiply on math space, but I wasn't doing it properly, and I still counted it as right.
Okay, I'll talk to you about it afterwards. Marshall?
It'll be 2/7.
2/7. Well done, because you divided the top and the bottom by 3. Well done. Okay, now this one, 4.5 multiplied by 3.25. What's the thing we have to remember when it's a mixed numeral?
Turn it to an improper fraction.
Well done. Turn it to an improper fraction. So this one is going to be 9/2, because 4 times 2 is 8, add 1 is 9/2. And this one is going to be 10/3. Okay? So, multiply. 9 times 10 is 90. 2 times 3 is 6. So what is 90 divided by 6? 30 over 2, well done. You can do one more step, very good. 15, well done. 15 whole ones, so it's 15 whole ones. Okay, so that was a quick revision of the different types of multiplication. Obviously, the only one that you have to do an extra step is if you've got a mixed number. Now, if you can do that and you followed that, you can divide, okay? But you do have to learn a new word. The new word is this one. Now, who can read that for me? Go on then, Ashi. Reciprocal, well done. Does anyone know what a reciprocal is? Oh, if I was 20 years younger, I'd do a handstand. And I was wearing pants, obviously. I'd do a handstand. And that might give you a bit of an idea.
Flipping?
Yes, good girl. So I'm just going to come over here and get the red pen, because someone's moved it. So, the reciprocal means when you turn the fraction upside down. So, what would the reciprocal of 2/5 be?
5/2.
5/2. The reciprocal of 3/8?
8/3.
8/3. The reciprocal of 3/7? 7/3. The reciprocal of 2/3?
3/2.
3/2. Okay. So the only difference is that we find the reciprocal of the second fraction. Now it has to be the second fraction, or you'll get in a pickle. Okay. So let's have a look. 3/7 divided by 2/5. So what we do now, the first fraction stays the same. So that stays as 3/7. We find the reciprocal, or we flip the second fraction. So that's 5/2. And because we have flipped the second fraction, what do you think we need to do to the division sign?
Put it as a multiplier.
Good, we need to find the inverse of division, which is multiplication. And now you know how to do it, don't you? Because if you could do this, you can do this. So 3 times 5 is what? 15. 7 times 2 is 14. Okay, and we just need to then change that into a mixed number.
It's 1 and 1/5.
Perfect. 1 and 1/14. So all there is that one extra step here. And I've put that in red so you can see it.
If you wrote it like 3/7 and then as if it's 3/7 over 2/5, and then took the 5 and put it and multiplied it by the 3.
This is the simpler way of doing it. I'll talk to you about that afterwards, okay? Right, so let's have another go. We'll do another one. We'll have 2/3 divided by 7/8. So 2/3 divided by 7/8. So the first fraction, what happens to it?
It stays.
Stays the same. So that's going to stay as 2/3. What do I need to do now? Yep, flip the second one. So that's going to be 8/7. And what do I need to do to the division sign? Make it into a multiplication sign, that's right. So the red bits are the bits that are different, okay? And we know how to do that now, don't we? 2 times 8 is 16. 3 times 7 is 21. No common factors, so we can't change it, okay? Right, now. Is everyone with me so far with those ones?
Yeah.
Now the only difference when we get a mixed number is that we have to sort out the mixed number before we do the reciprocal. So if you've got something like 2.5 divided by 3 3/4, let's have a look at that one. 2.5 divided by 3 3/4. So the first thing we do is what? With a mixed numeral, what's the first thing we do? Mackenzie? Change it to an improper fraction, that's right. So, who can do that for me? Mackenzie?
5/2.
5/2 divided by
15/4.
15/4, that's right. Okay. So now we've got it like this, you just follow the same steps as over here. What happens to the first fraction? Stays the same, 5/2. What happens to the second fraction?
It's flipped.
You flip it, you find the reciprocal, 4/15. And what do we do to the division sign? Multiply. Okay? Now, 5 times 4? 20. 2 times 15? 30. What can I do then?
2/3.
Yep, simplify. 2/3.